creating a visual that airplanes and helicopters and automobiles. He was very well known, very wealthy, very active in the aviation industry.
Hi, and welcome to Ladies of the Paranormal World. Today, you're here with your host. My other hosts are out today. And today we have our VVIP, Natalia. Is that right?
Yep.
And she lives in what we believe, as we've been talking for the past month or so, in what I believe to be demonically possessed kind of situation. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of where you're from, and we'll start there.
I grew up in Auburn, New York, and I actually lived in Cortland as a child, but then moved to Auburn. So now I moved back to live with my friend. I moved to Kentucky.
Oh, nice. Are you planning on going to see Bobby Bees? He lives out in Kentucky.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember him saying that.
All right. So when you moved now you're in apartment buildings. When you moved into your apartments that you're currently at now, why did you move there? Because I know you do daycare. Is that correct?
Yeah. I guess. Well, I lived with my mother, but had the best relationship together. We were very toxic towards each other both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Been with my grandparents, and then my grandparents. So I went to live with my second cousin up in Virgil, my own apartment base.
Okay. Now when you moved, oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Just the lady that I was living with had a substance abuse problem, and so I was ready for my own free place where I could do whatever I wanted.
Right, and I know how substance abuse can be kind of, it doesn't just affect the person that's addicted to drugs, it affects everybody around them.
Yeah.
So when you moved into your current apartment and you started doing daycare, when was the first time that you really noticed something was a little off about the place?
Well, the day before April 1st, so I can feel presence, and I didn't feel anything here at the time. So I thought that I could have, but my best friend, who's also my upstairs neighbor, she staged the house for me just as like a welcoming, like just to be safe. I ended up getting my foster daughter. She was 7. About a month later, had a lot of traumatic experiences and a very hard life. I had noticed probably like a week or two after she started is when I noticed the first presence that I saw. I just kind of started coming in front, really notice it. I'm not sure if maybe before I didn't observe it, or maybe they were just like, oh my God, new people, where the negative energy that I feel it came from. Any sense? Because I didn't feel it when we moved in.
Okay, so it started happening, would you say gradually started to show itself?
Yeah, kind of like when you have a new roommate, they kind of get more comfortable, and then it's like that's who you are.
Okay. Now, the negative entity, what was the very first negative interaction that you had with it that really told you that you were dealing with something a little more demonic?
Well, there's a lot of things.
Well, we're going to touch on everything, but we're going to start with the first one that kind of made you go, I don't like this.
First thing that made me think that there was something wrong. I felt very uneasy. Like I just felt like I was being watched. watched, and that necessarily, wasn't like, oh my gosh, we're dealing with something big right now. But that's the I felt something wasn't right. I just had a feeling.
Okay.
Something didn't feel right.
So an extreme discomfort with your surroundings. Would that be about accurate? Okay, now when you go and you start feeling this way, do you feel like someone's watching you, or does it feel like you walk into a room and it feels heavy and kind of unwelcoming, or really just, when you walk or you go swimming and you feel the water pressure on you, does it feel like that, or do you feel anything specific that kind of makes you really leery of it?
Just I don't know, like stabs. Like when you rub a balloon on your head and then you hold it out but I won't be cold. My whole body would just feel like staticky. Or times I get dizzy and my vision goes blurry for a minute. And when I walk in the house, it's visible fog that kind of hits me in the face. It's weird to explain. It just I feel
Right.
I can feel I get really dizzy and I walk in or out the door. It's kind of weird to explain.
Well, no, it makes sense, and I can understand that feeling because people on here, they come on here and they tell us very similar feelings or reactions that they receive. So again, it makes perfect sense to me, and probably 90% of the people that watch our show, they can probably relate to that.
It's
now.
It's sorry.
Go ahead.
It's a pause in life or time. In a way, you go out the door and it's just a pause for a second because everything just goes. It's back to normal. That's how to explain it.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, that's that's a good way to describe it, I think. But now, when you first realized that you were in the presence of something dark, what made you start? Because you reached out to me some time ago about having bruises that have appeared on you, and I think you even sent me a video or two of some things that had happened that you caught on your nanny cam. So why don't we go ahead and talk about a little bit of that real quick. There's my brush.
So I about a month that something else was here. So I had researched, Sage, a couple paranormal groups, and they said that I can sage and told me, the proper and how to, bring in the positive energy and stuff. So I had bought the vanilla sage from the market down the street, and it's a organic market. But I had brought it home, and I was on the phone with one of my daycare families, and I had going to salt and sage the house, and I had bought the stuff, and it was on the table. And then the next step with a bruise, a handprint bruise on my leg, on my thigh area, and I hadn't had any children 2 days before, so it wouldn't make any sense. What I was feeling.
Okay. Now, the video you showed me, and I'm going to try and share the video because I have a hard time sometimes seeing things that aren't there, or maybe I missed it. So in the video that you sent me, can you kind of explain what's happening in that video?
Sure.
It was one that was by the trash can, your automatic trash can, I think you said it was.
Was it a video or the picture?
You know what? It may have been a picture.
I sent you a lot of things, so.
Yeah, I know you sent me pictures of drawings that one of the children that you watch had drawn of something that they had seen. So, yeah. So why don't we get a little into first the picture by the trash can that you sent me, what it was that was in that picture that kind of you found disturbing.
Okay. Hey Malachi, can you get me my sketchbook, please? It should be right on the bed or on my nightstand.
Sit back. Shut it.
On my bed or the nightstand. Did you get it to?
He had a shotgun.
Oh, the other one.
And
The tie-dye one.
another black male there with a handgun.
Did you figure it out?
Go get Daddy. Sorry, my daughter. She's being clingy at the
No, you're
moment.
okay. I'm just sitting here talking because I didn't see it.
Oh, you're good.
Blaylock tells detectives that while the gunman was tied up, he was shot. The gunman then tried to force stricken Blaylock toward the restroom, where Big John Berger was being held.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about the picture where the trash can that you took?
Sure.
So what about that picture did you notice? Because I didn't notice it.
Well, we have the Wi-Fi cameras. They're just like they're $20 cameras. They work great. Every time it catches movement, it takes or it can take videos if you get SD cards. But I would get random pictures of things moving or like the trash can opening, and it's censored. Like when you put your hand over it to open, and it was in the middle of the night. So that was a little
wow.
weird. So it opened. It's called other things. I'm sure that you have the picture of the other stuff that
I think I have a couple of pictures on my phone, and I haven't had the chance to upload them. Do you have them readily available by chance?
Not without accident.
Oh, we don't want to do that. Okay, so
could you add it on later? Just talk about it.
Yeah, I can add it on later. Let me see if I can pull them up on my thing, because we have a few pictures. Why don't you talk about one of the pictures that your one of your daycare children had drawn, and it's pretty disturbing looking, actually.
My foster daughter. Do you?
Yeah, I'm bringing that up now. So
I
just gotta wait for it to open. It's being slow.
She moved out about months ago now, and I started having very weird dreams of the little girl in her. So I can show you my painting after. Painted it as like what I was seeing, not as what she drew, but it was very, very similar.
Okay, here we go. Okay, come on. Sorry, my computer's being slow loading. It was doing that trying to load things up too, just being really slow.
I believe I sent you the video of me asking her what.
I think you did too. I'm actually looking for the picture and for the me and the right there's that picture too I want to talk about. It was the real estate or whatever agent that you took that was in the window.
The Zillow. I went onto the Google block.
Huh? Come on. We talked a lot, so I have to scroll a lot. Come on.
If you see this,
Why
it's
is this
my
agent. Okay, so here's the picture of. This is the picture of the trash can. I'm gonna try and save that real quick. Oh well, shoot! Why didn't I do that? Like, it would have been so much easier. I, for some reason, tried doing it the hard way, and I could have just done it the easy way. Because, why not? Here's that drawing.
I'm
And
guilty of
I know
that
you
too.
said on the drawing, you said that the arms and the face was covered in stitches. I think that was what we were talking about.
He said that they were
Um,
cut off and stitched back together.
that was, yeah. I've definitely
Especially
got. Here's the
coming
video.
from a
I'll make sure to.
It's very concerning coming from a 7-year-old child.
Yeah,
7-year-old
absolutely.
child
That's
doesn't
it's
make
very
that stuff up.
right, exactly. And when you start hearing stuff like that, talking about things like that, it definitely makes you like, what in the world? Okay, here's that picture.
It was very
Uh,
detailed.
that's the picture.
Very detailed.
Right. It was, and that's the picture I was actually just looking at. I'm downloading this stuff real quick
The more
so
strange
that we
part
can share them.
about it is that she's not a bad drawer. She's just not a very clear, drawer. Like usually, is that so cool, And that was very, very clear. So that kind of
Right, because most kids when they draw, they kind of give a generalization of what they're, wanting to show people. But
yeah.
in this particular instance, it's very detailed. Okay, so I finally got this all downloaded. So let's go ahead and see if I can't get them pulled up real quick. Well, not real quick. My computer's doing anything but being real quick. It's very slowly doing.
She draws the duck out. Oh wow, what is that? It's a lot more than
right. It's not
usually...
real detailed. So I'm gonna bring up these pictures here. I'm gonna share it to so that everybody can see it. Why is this doing this? It's gonna be the weirdest episode ever because I put more time into doing stuff that I should have done ahead of time, which is my fault. But here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here so that everybody can see what we're seeing, what we're talking about. Come on. Black screen, that's what we're showing. Okay, so in this particular, we have this, what looks like a elongated apparition. What was happening when this happened? And it looks like you have your foster daughter in the bed there. So I'm gonna try and stay away from zooming into that, but let's zoom into this here. This is what we're looking at. Tell me about this picture.
So I believe it's early morning, like just beginning to be light, but there was another picture, it's not just the light shining in. The other pictures were
right. The other
like
picture is down here.
Yeah, the light shining.
Yeah, here's the other one with the light shining in on her. I can see that there. There's nothing here. But then there's this one where it looks like something, and it's in motion. Whatever it is in motion.
Yeah, the one on the bottom, it shows her sitting up in bed, and she around like out the window. You can see her, looking out the window, like she got up and like looked around. And the next picture was maybe how many minutes? Like 5 minutes, not even. How many minutes later was the other one?
Oh, it's being stupid. Sorry.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
It couldn't have been.
I think
more
I pulled
than
it
5 minutes
down. Hold on.
later.
Go for the handle.
It's gonna be a pain. Try this again. I'm not sure why it decided that, but okay. Here we go. So this one shows at 6:18:20. This one shows at 6:06:54. So we're talking about 11 minutes difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking around, and then she was sleeping again, and then it catches like I believe it's. I know orbs are usually like balls, aren't they? Or can they be like that if they were in motion?
They can be all different shapes. Yeah, they can be all different shapes. I've got someone else that has a whole bunch of things that I'm going to show on her episode that are elongated, that are U-shaped, that are, looks like mists. So there are all different kinds of shapes that these things can take. And this one is a really good capture. I think it's a really good capture. Now here's the bruise we were talking about earlier, and I'll show the picture that you took where you had outlined it, but original photo. Let's see if I can get that large screen here. You can actually see 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers here and what looks like a thumb here.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna bring up the other picture after this. But why don't you go ahead and tell me what happened on this day where you ended up with this bruise?
That was, I woke up the morning after I had bought the sage and the salt, and I talked about it, like I said earlier, and that's the bruise that I woke up with the next morning. After I bought the stuff, something before that bruise even showed up, my inner subconscious self, or whatever it's called, told me that I shouldn't do it. I don't know if it was maybe, something else telling me that I shouldn't do it. This isn't a good idea because I don't know 100% what I'm doing, and I didn't want.
Right, exactly.
But I felt very positive going into buying it, so I brought it in the house, and I was like, never mind.
Right. Now, this is the more enhanced version. You can actually see it. And you did a really good job of outlining what I'm seeing, what I saw. And this is just so everybody else can see what we're saying in case you can't. But it does look like the size of a child's hand. It's not very large. In prospect to the size of your leg, you can tell it's very small. So do you believe that this is possibly a child spirit that is attached to this, or do you think it's something that's mimicking a child?
I really don't know. I feel when the child doesn't feel right to me, like, but I feel that there is something else here. Is the child, or if there's something else? You know what I mean? I feel strongly
Right.
that it most
Right,
likely
exactly.
is, but other people have, when they were painting and stuff like that, and said that she was waving at me, or she was smiling. So
Right.
I don't know.
Now, this is the picture we were just talking about. Why don't we talk about this picture a little bit? Because it looks very kind of just demented looking, a little disturbing. It's got the markings on the face. It's very descript.
Sorry, I'm hearing noises.
Oh, that's okay.
On the picture under her bed, it was in a notebook, but that page was like anybody could see it, and she usually keeps her diaries under her bed, so I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But with old food in them, so I was cleaning her room while she was away at camp, and I found that just before I even found that picture, I wouldn't go in her. Is this a room to tuck her in for bed or to put her clothes away? I'd make her come, give me a hug and a kiss, and then because when I went in there, I just felt like I needed to get out, like
Right.
me, but like my body was like, you need to get out. Like I felt like I needed
Right,
to get
like
out now. And then when I
almost
saw
like that fight or flight feeling.
Yeah, when I saw, well, I wasn't, felt like I needed to get out. Like I shouldn't have been in there.
Gotcha.
And then I was like, oh, this makes a little bit more sense. Because she had been coming to my in the nighttime and
Yeah.
telling me that there's someone there, and that she was scared. And I said, it's okay, She said her curtain was open. I'm like, it's just the cat, you're okay, go back to bed. I didn't want to, her to think anything else of it because she needed to go to sleep for school.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, play this video, and I'm going to have you talk about this video after I've played it. Now, this is the same child, right? This video?
The 7-year-old.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Bruce advises do things differently, and I feel terrific. You know, she watches gay porn. I know, I watched it with her. I think she's onto something. Yeah, well, I'm happy she helped you, but she was a million sweet. What did she tell you? I don't even want to repeat it. It's just that ridiculous. Try me. She thinks I should be more supportive of my ex-husband. That's crazy. Thank you. You're not capable of being supportive. You're a petty and vindictive woman. I am not petty and vindictive. Just can't stand it when good things happen to people I used to love. You know the definition of insanity? Yes, I know the definition of insanity. I live with you. Eventually, you're going to do the right thing. I do agree. I choose the dark side. It's not fair. No. I spent all those years trying to mold that hot apple's lump of clay, and I can't just get just more. Sweetie, look at me. Yet, the reward is fixed. Mom, if you love me, let me hate.
You get more epic energy and better sleep with tons of equipment and our clean and spacious clubs. Join for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, October 14th.
Think about this. Everything you own is an extension of you. Your music, your toys, your tools. You can never have too many tools. And of course, your truck. So now when you custom order your new Ford pickup, get what you want and what you want. The options, the performance, the equipment that makes you.
Okay, so in this video, you can clearly hear her say, she sees it, it's a spirit, and it's in her room. She sees it in her room. And I hear you say to her, you know, is that her arm? And she goes, no, those are stitches. Well, why are there stitches? Because they stitched her fingers back on. Now, this is a child of how old? She can't be more than 5, 6 years old. Is that right?
She was 7.
7. Okay, so this is a young child who is drawing something really detailed and is describing it quite detailed. Why don't you tell me about that conversation? What led to that conversation, or did you find the picture and then ask her about it right away when you started videoing this?
I had found it under her bed, and I had taken a picture of it, and I, had called her account. The first thing that came to mind wasn't, this is what she was drawing. At first I thought, maybe it was something she drew of herself, but it didn't look like herself. I had let them know, just so that way they knew, because I had foster care. And
Right.
then I had put it, they told me to put it, say anything to her, but then she came home from camp. She was gone for 2 days, and I did her. I just kind of walked in her room and acted like I was sleeping under her bed again, and I was pissed. And I believe in the video I said, this is a really good bit. To make her not, so she didn't think she was in trouble in any way.
Right.
I wish I could have said, because she was smiling, and it was just kind of creepy. She was just like,
Right.
what?
Right.
And then the next ripped it out and thrown it away and ripped it up in a million pieces. But I felt bad because you know what I mean. But
Right.
I felt like I had to ask her.
Right, and she seems, at times when she's describing it, she seems a little nervous about describing it, almost as though she's not supposed to talk about it. Did you get that feeling from her? Like maybe she wasn't supposed to tell you who that was or what that was? Yeah, so, when a child is doing things that are strange, drawing things that are strange, and then they don't want to talk about it to you, it definitely kind of says that it's a more dark or malevolent entity. Um, did she ever act in any way that was unusual to you, or talk to someone that you're not seeing but she's talking to them?
She was very aggressive and violent. Um, she wasn't like that when she first moved in, and it wasn't like it was like to the extreme. Um, she would throw things and break things and just yell like. Um, she ended up having to move out because she talked to the kids all day. So I told her, I don't want to talk to you right now. It's time for bed. Give a hug and a kiss, and then you're gonna go to bed because I'm still upset with you right now because it wasn't okay. And she takes sleeping meds, so she was definitely tired. I could tell she was tired. She was ready for bed. Knife off the counter. And she had come to the door and she said, and then went to go, like towards the door, and then I shut the door. I didn't want, 'cause I didn't want her to like hurt me or hurt herself. And because I have a house pig, and she said, I'm gonna her name's Maisie, so and she started walking towards the pig, so I ran up from behind her, and I grabbed the knife, and I like tore her, and she just like fell in my arms, like sobbing and crying, and then she fell asleep. And I had never
Oh
seen
wow.
her get to that point before. I mean, she has, times where it's like full blown, like not her anymore.
Mhm. Now, that's pretty scary. Did you ever feel like when she was in these states, in these actions that she was doing, did you ever fear for your own safety?
I can actually show you really quick my setup. I have a lock on my busted through about 2 of them. So I have a heavy duty lock on my door right now that person. I've got the lock up here, and then got to double it because she was
Oh
breaking.
wow.
She would. I had a picture of a welt on my fiance's back from, or no, she threw the water bottle at you, didn't she? It was the water bottle. She threw a water bottle at him. That girl, she is strong. And she gets
Oh
like
my gosh.
actually strong. It left a huge welt and bruise on his back.
Oh my gosh.
Actually had to
So she was definitely acting out in violent tantrums.
we had to lock ourselves in there for our own safety quite often. More
Oh my
so
gosh.
towards ended up going.
So
Sorry,
this
I'm
is something
cold.
that was progressing only in this home, but before moving into this home, she wasn't like that. She didn't have those kinds of outbursts.
Not so that I don't listen to adults, but she never was like that.
Okay. So do you think maybe that she was being possessed by something?
I think so, because that's pretty, scary and extreme. It started off
Right.
as her energy, or kids were arguing. She picked that up, and like she was like, bam, angry, and then I feel like
Right.
here took that energy, and like added to it, and then got her, going and going. At the point, when she had brought the knife to my door, I don't think that it was her anymore. But
Right. And we hear things like that in possession situations pretty frequently. Did anybody, or did you ever reach out to anybody to evaluate and maybe even have an exorcist look at her and perform a cleansing or an exorcism?
Because, you know, their foster care has very strict rules, and I don't know what I mean, for her, or whatever other reasons they have for everything. but actually, she had left. It is here. I reached out to a paranormal group, and they were able to communicate with other spirits. They didn't talk to what I feel, and my upstairs neighbor also says that she experiences it too. And they came.
Oh, so it's not just you that's experiencing this.
Yeah, I wonder if when they came here, because it didn't want to be found out. Because it goes, a couple of people had said that too. The painters that come said that they felt something not feel good. The lady, she's very in tune with stuff. And then she came down here and sure. And she goes, "There's a child here." And I'm like, she's like a little girl, and I'm like, "Yep." And then she said that and she goes, "There's that feeling again." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Upstairs. I felt it down here." And she said, "And it's so that's why I feel like maybe what it is, maybe there's two, because my little daycare 3-year-old, my room, the playroom was originally out here in the dining room, and I moved it to out, and he would not go in there since the day that I moved it in there, and he was always in there, but he came running into my room the one day that he did go in there, and he goes, "Ghost, or one good, one scary." And then he said, "Bad." I was like, "Okay, you know, you're okay. You're staying here with me." But I wonder if there's two. He said that they were girls. He just said girls. He doesn't talk much because he's 3, but he talked for more
He talks enough to understand.
Yeah, and he was very shook about it too. It looks like he was
Okay, now
shaking.
we keep
Like,
hearing too.
He was like his face like terrified. I'm like, oh.
I'm actually really excited that you brought up two because we actually have a picture here that you had sent me of what was taken in front of your building when the real estate agent took a picture, right?
Did you find a second one?
I did. I found it. And in this picture, you guys are going to be absolutely shocked to see what we see. And I find that there are two definitive. Now, there's a couple of other circles. Someone else actually saw this, and they say they see more than that. But I only saw two, and you only saw two. Is that correct?
Yeah.
This is the one that you sent me some time ago. Okay, so I'm going to show everybody this, and I find this extremely. Yeah.
You found another one.
This
I was like, oh god.
I did see two in it. So I find it really exciting that you say two, and that this child is saying that there's two, because you're going to see right here, you can see definitively an eye, a nose, a mouth, and it's kind of creepy looking, right?
Yeah.
That's really creepy looking. But then if you look down here, right here, you can see an eye, what looks like a nose here, right there. These are the only two that I would definitively say look like faces, because there's a bunch of other circles on here that I don't see, but these ones I do see.
Yeah,
it's just these two. One looks like the size of a child, and one's at the height of a fully grown person. If you look,
the one
one is
middle,
literally at the site
middle,
right here. Yeah.
Felt. It looked almost like it was like almost adult, like a young adult. You know what I mean? Like 18
exactly.
or 20. And that
This
one
one
is
here
like
looks like
a
the height of a
small
child. Exactly. So that's why I find this part to be so extremely exciting, because you have a child that's saying that there's one that's really good and one that's bad, bad, right? So I'm wondering if these two spirits are connected. Now, I tried looking up some history on the building, but unfortunately, because I don't live there, I don't have access to the archives there.
It was I actually had went to the library after the paranormal people came. So I'm like, I'm gonna go see, like if anybody that lived here like is one of those names. I didn't find anything. I wasn't really sure. The guy had talked a lot. Like there's other things here, but they don't feel scary to me. The just they make me uneasy. But the voice had said was, I don't want Malachi here, and Malachi's my fiance. That's the recording.
Okay. Now, was this captured in EVP?
Yeah, on the little recorder thing. It's like a voice recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
our
don't have the
EVP
recording, but
recorder.
let's see if we, missed anything else in it. So maybe eventually when I get back, I can send it. That'd be cool. So,
I was going to say, maybe it'd be a good idea to put some EVP recorders around the house and let them roll. Just, let them roll, to listen to them afterwards and see, if you catch anything. Now, do you ever have any kind of poltergeist activity happening? Hi, Black Dragon. What's up? Welcome to the group. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Have you ever had any poltergeist type activity, things moving? I know you said you see things in different places, but have you ever actually seen it happen?
the only thing is the swing. I can point the camera that way. I have a little daycare. Sometimes if I walk out of my bedroom, which is right there, bathroom is right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I will walk out the bathroom and it's swinging, and I'm like, nope, I'll wait a minute, and I turn around and go back in my room. But I haven't really noticed any. Just like the thing swinging. There's no windows open or fans on, so it's not. I always
Now, would you mind taking us for a little bit of a?
loud.
Would you mind taking us on a little bit of a tour of the house to show us where the most activity is?
Sure. If I turn the camera
That way we can get a little bit of an idea of where the activity is in the home.
So I'll show you. So when you come in, I wish I could turn. Can I turn the camera around? I don't know.
You should be able to.
So
There you go.
the front of my house is a little bit mess. This is the front door. So this
That's
is the
all right.
playroom, which was my phone. There's the bathroom, and then this is like the dining room. The kitchen's off of there. So playroom, where's my bedroom? It's hard to. It's a nice little room. I don't like opening the closet. It gives me the people that lived here before had said that there was a sticker on the door that hurt off because it was a little girl sticker.
Oh.
Before had felt that too. So I thought that was very interesting. Bathroom, floors a mess. But
I mean, that's awesome, Black Dragon. Have to hit me up and let me hear that song sometime.
We have the paranormal people came when they were about to leave. They said that, or the guy said it. There's something with the mirror or something like that. So I covered it up just because before I felt uncomfortable in the bathroom, but after that, so I make my fiance go to the bathroom at night because I get nervous. Just being there by myself.
I understand that. I can understand. Now, what is it about the closet that you said you don't like to open it? Why do you not like opening it?
I just like when I open the closet, it makes I feel like I shouldn't be in there. Like in general, like I usually like wait until like bright daylight, and then my fiance's in there with me to pick up the toy quick, just because I feel like I shouldn't be in there. But I also don't try to like show that I'm feeling that way, because I'm vulnerable. I'm very vulnerable because I'm terrified. But it gets more intense, I guess.
Oh, so it's a feeling that kind of grows the longer that it's open, or the more you're interacting with that situation.
Yeah, you know, it could not the closet. When I open it, I feel like it's just like kind of like get out. You know what I mean? And then when I shut it, it's a little bit better, but it's still
For sure.
Okay, so my question is to you: have you ever had anything physically touch you besides the bruise? We know the bruise. But besides that, has anything touched you, or pulled your hair, or anything like that? Why don't you tell us about that experience, or those experiences?
I forgot
There's
when
more.
you said pull. I forgot Mike mentioned it. I know I talked to you, but my kitchen had caught on fire and nobody had cooked all day long, and there was a washcloth moved from this is the kitchen. So there was a washcloth moved from the laundry basket all the way to the stove burner right here, and then there was a can of fluff that like here, and this cabinet was shut. It was shut in the cameras, and it was moved onto the burner, and the smoke detector. We were about to go to bed. The smoke detector went off. That smell. We better see what it is. You know, what if there's a fire? So we ran out, you know, freaking out, like, oh my god, there's a fire out, and the stove's on fire, and there's stuff that we didn't use all day, and we didn't even cook. So it was very.
And nobody accidentally touched the knobs or nothing like that.
No, nobody was in the kitchen. We had water bottles under our bed, so we didn't go to the kitchen for a drink either. And then I had the sprayer from the sink, and I just spray. He's like, "Don't spray water on it," but I'm like water. So I took the sprayer and I was like the whole stove and like the whole area just to be safe. We had cleaned all the sprays, and I went to the bathroom because, you know, when you're nervous, you gotta go pee. And so I went to the bathroom, and then I felt like a really hard pinch on my shoulder, like jumping. Almost felt like a small little bite, or like, I don't know. You know, like when basically like a really big mosquito, like feels like a bite, almost like a pinchy bite.
Like if you get a shot at the doctor's kind of pain.
Yeah, and it made me like jump off. Oh, what was that? And then I felt when I'm here before, I felt someone like poking me, like keep poking me, and then I know the paranormal people had sight, so I said to my house first. So I was a little bit like shy about it. And she does her little, and so I looked up and I said, just like I tell the kids, take it. And then it stopped for a minute, and then it started again. And then after I ignored it for a little bit, it stopped. But it was like moving. I also find it very interesting.
See, I see you looking really nervous right now. Are you experiencing something right now?
Well, the swing is just very slightly moving, just like kind of moves a little faster. I don't know if you could see it.
It does look like it's moving a little bit.
Very slightly. I didn't touch my skin.
Well, yeah, I can see it's quite a distance from you, and you've kind of been looking very nervous for about the past 5 or 6 minutes. So I wanted to see if you were experiencing something right now.
I don't feel anything here like when we started, but then like a little bit after, I feel like I'm being watched almost. Like I feel like but where we left off in the kitchen. Here is the living room, dining room, whatever it is. It's just a nap room. I'm sure you can see the crib in the corner right there.
Mhm.
3 kids staying the night because their mom was in the hospital. He's 1.5. The 1.5-year-old slept in the, and he kept like waking up and like screaming, like I thought someone was like gonna hurt him, like get out of bed, quick, run, see what's going on, kind of scream. And I,
Oh my gosh.
it's okay, you know. He just would scream and scream and scream, and he was just looking up and like, I'm not gonna look, because I didn't want to know, because I knew, you know, that, and I was just standing there, you know, rubbing his back. He's like about to fall asleep, and all of a sudden I feel long static, like stronger than I feel when I go in and out the door, and I didn't have goose standing up everywhere, and I wasn't, you know, like
Mhm.
nervous or anything. It just literally felt like someone took all my body, but it felt like it was coming from under the crib. So I like backed my feet up, and I'm like, fall asleep. I'm like, should I take you to my room, or you know, I mean the fire, but nothing's ever like extreme to hurt anyone besides the bruise on my leg.
You know, I'm watching you, and I feel like we should do a live investigation because it looks like you're feeling something going on right now. It looks like really, really nervous. So maybe either tonight, tomorrow, another night, something, we can do a live investigation at your home and see if we can't maybe see what you're seeing or even feel it. Does your phone camera, like, can it see in the dark?
These cameras can. I plugged it in because I felt something there at the beginning. I didn't want to say anything. I got up and I plugged it in. I faced it that way because I feel like I can't see anything. I just feel it.
How would you feel if we put this episode, we stop the episode, and we stay live, we go live again, and we just do an hour investigation on your house?
Tomorrow?
Tonight. It looks like something's going on now, and I want to see if we can catch it while it's happening.
Okay.
Would you feel comfortable doing that, or do you not want to? You don't have to. It's entirely yours.
I've had an investigation before, so that's okay.
Okay, so basically the way the live investigation would be is we would try and turn the lights down as much as possible without completely blacking it out, because I don't know if you'll be able to see, or our guests will be able to see what's going on, but we'll try and get the lights dimmed down as much as possible, and then we try to communicate with whatever's there, and then we just try and see if maybe we can hear or see anything out of the ordinary. And of course you'll be talking because you're there, and I want you to talk to us and tell us what you're feeling in real time.
Should I?
Sorry, I'm sorry. What was that, honey?
Should I not matter?
It doesn't really matter, honey.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to end the episode, so stick around. I'm going to end this episode and start a brand new episode that's just going to be us investigating the house. It's a little bit different than what I normally do, but we're going to see how this works. That's it. Okay. All right, guys. Stick around. We're going to do a live event right now. So stick around.